for your energy in the place. You know, it has been quite a summer. Boy, vey. It's been an exciting summer to be able to send Sky off on a well-deserved sabbatical, to have 3 marvelous ministers come and bless us with their gifts. For me, it was renewing some friendships and expanding those, having the time to really enjoy expanding friendships with people I'd known. And relative to Reverend Ginny, for me, it was getting to know her. What a joy the whole summer experience has been. You know, this could have been the talk title, what I did on my summer. Oh, I think we have a battery issue. Thank you, Diana. What I did on my summer vacation. Even with Sky's absence, obviously, things have rolled on at Full Tilt Boogie around here. I just want to give you a recap in case you also, Diana, I think we don't have a battery here. In case you also were on vacation and missed any of the hoo-ha around here this summer. In our thrift store, Suzanne Sims left her position as director and manager of the thrift store because she's called to new and greater adventures. How exciting is that? And we've welcomed Denise Crosby into the thrift store. When you are in the courtyard today, you will see, hallelujah, the progress on our courtyard cover project that's going on. But I warn you, stay away from those poles. They're a little dirty. A congregant gifted us with full bathroom renovation of our facilities here down off the facility off the lawn. Odd and synchronistic relationship showed up with a hotel in Waikiki that's doing a lot of renovation, and they had materials they were releasing, and they released them to us, who got a television while they were here, yeah? And just an abundance of things that are serving us and serving others. We're able to gift some of them onward. We're all benefiting from some of the wonderful things that have come out of that relationship. If you've been in the classrooms or the main office to see the new carpet, that was free. Hotel commercial carpet. Our Eagle Scout, one of our YOU graduates did his Eagle Scout project here, and there was landscaping activity all over the place. June Dillinger is just put a fire under the team of our already amazing youth leaders, and she's particularly launching the Youth of Unity teenage group Sacred Slam activity every week. We have at least 8 people in their practicum process and leadership training process to become a licensed Unity teacher. 8 more licensed Unity teachers are going to come out of this church and Windward Unity in the next year. And we also have ministers in training here, and one of them, Deb Knowles on the Big Island, will be officially and formally licensed when she comes to visit. You must now call her Reverend Deb. Rev Deb. Yes, we're excited about that. Florence Manzan in the Philippines. She went to the Philippines and established a study group. A few months ago, she expanded that. They're now meeting twice a week in 2 different locations, and it's no longer study group format. She's now operating them in a Sunday service kind of format. They're midweek, because that's how it works in the Philippines. But 2 groups now meeting in Manila in 2 different locations. And across the summer, even though Sky has been gone, we've been engaged in a strategic planning exercise that will culminate in mid-October after he returns. Oh, it's been a summer and a lot of fun. Aristotle said, well begun is half done. So while a lot of these things are all in progress, it's this amazing energy to be on the campus, especially in the middle of the week when all this is going on, and there are 40 details that you got to juggle in the air. Thank God for Levitt and Gary and Lisa and everybody else. I mean, it's been an exciting summer, even with Sky gone. Am I burbling? Yes, I've been excited. And here's one of the efforts and one of the results of some of our project this summer in the strategic planning team. The strategic planning team is the core staff, several of our board of trustee members who stepped in and volunteered for this activity, and several congregants who were invited to participate. So it's a little bit of all of us represented in making this team move forward, looking at the vision of where we want to go in this church. I mean, we've got a fabulous community, but where do we want to be 5 years from now is the question we have begun to work with. Now, if you'll look at that little card in your bulletin, on the back side of it, there's down at the bottom, it says List 3 words that describe unity for you. What's your experience of this community? What about this church brings you here every Sunday morning, brings you to classes? Is it because there's spiritual education? Is it because it's a place to meet with others of like mind? Are you stimulated? Are you transformed? Are you inspired? What is it that defines unity for you? Or what 3 words do you want it to look like? What more could we be than we are right now? The team did this exercise, and these are the results of our activity. We focused on the fact that this community is about establishing oneness. That's our vision statement existing now, to realize our oneness with God and one another. That we're a transforming and co-creative spiritual Ohana community. That there is healing work going on here through the practice of prayer and meditation. That we practice the presence of God within and everywhere present. This is an intergenerational community. We have inspiring and inclusive activities and services, and all of it is wrapped up with love and aloha. That's how we have synthesized a collection of words that we think, the team thinks, describes this community. But now you're invited to put your energy into the mix of this assessment of who we are and who we want to be. And because you may want to be taking those little cards home with you, over on the side wall there are poster paper and pens where you can go at the end of the service and leave for the team your 3 words so that we can incorporate, so that your energy becomes part of this ongoing process with us. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of the Unity movement, spoke to the idea of imagination. The highest and best work of the imagination is the marvelous transformation that it works in character. Imagine that you are one with the principle of good, and you will become truly good. All creative process happens first in our mind. So if you imagine and claim the good shows up. To imagine oneself perfect fixes the idea of perfection in the invisible mind substance, and the mind forces at once begin the work of bringing forth perfection. So what is it that you would like to have more of in your life? Would you like to be abundant, but the checkbook maybe had a 0 last week right before payday? But set that castle in the air and claim your abundance and step into that, because then the mind connects to the mind of God and begins to create the energy of pulling you toward abundance. Michael Beckwith says we are either pulled by faith or pushed by pain. I'm tired of the push by pain, folks. Who wants to join me in the pulled by faith toward what I want? Thank you for that hand over there. And back there, yes. We can set the course of our life through our imagination and the establishing of our dreams. And then when you lay that foundation underneath that castle that you are calling forth, how big do you want to dream? How big would you like your abundance to be? Would you love your checkbook to go from 0 right before payday to 4 zeros after the number that's in the amount? Whew! Wouldn't that be exciting? I would love a change like that. Would you like to move from, maybe those zeros need to be on the square foot of the space you live in, from 500 to, change the number in front, 1,500. Maybe it's the number of horsepower in the car you drive that you want an extra 0 on. Whatever you want to expand in your life, it first begins in your imagination, and then you are called to build the foundation underneath it. And that foundation will arise for you from the calling forth your imagination, which stimulates the capacity of God to work within you and will prompt you to pick up the phone and call this person, and an idea comes forth. Will prompt you to go do some research in this area, and you learn something, and it expands your understanding and sets the plan in motion. When we begin with our imagination to establish our dreams, and then are called to the work of foundation building, our life moves forward. That's what the Prosperity Plus class is going to be teaching us. Now, how big do we want to dream in this community? That's the work the planning team has been doing. How many people can we imagine are seated in this chapel on Sunday mornings? All of us have been doing an exercise answering that question. And there are a lot of zeros on somebody's number in this community. I won't say who, but he's coming home in the next couple of weeks. He has big plans for this community in the number of people who are here on Sunday and who are here live stream. Right now, there are about 150 of you watching us on live stream. We're glad you're here. I would love that number to be at least 10 times. Why? Because every time we are exposing these teachings to people, we are opening the door of transformation in their lives. We all know that because we're here every week. But there are people out there yet who have not discovered it. But they need the power of what Unity can move in energy in their lives. What about classes? We usually have like between 8 and close to 20 is our top number in classes right now. What if that classroom were spilling out the door so that we had to answer the call by live streaming our classes? Sorry, Owen, but it's a really good dream. We're training 8 licensed teachers right now and 4 ministers here in the island. How if that number expanded? How much influence would Unity have in the world if we're training more teachers? Expansion groups. What if beyond Santiago, Chile, and Philippines, which is experiencing expansion, what if we planted in seeded communities all around the Pacific Rim? You know, what if people visiting from Maryland go home inspired by Unity and decide to start a study group there? Or from anywhere? Our friends across the world, what if they get so captured by what they see watching live stream that they plant a group in, I don't know, Germany? You know, there's lots of possibilities. How more can we serve our community through outreach? We're working with Gregory House right now when we feed people at the beach, our homeless neighbors. What more way can we serve in compassionate, loving kindness to our neighbors right here in our Ohana here and in our community outside the walls of this church? What influence can we have? What power can we bring to people's lives? As we've been going through this dreaming big process, the staff, the board members, and the congregants who are part of this, you know, we staff spend a lot of time together during the week, and so at lunch, the conversation tends to be about this work and everything else, and some of us have began to share what our big dreams are for this community. And every single one of the staff has a list that includes an integrative wellness and healing center right here. I don't know, it will really have to be a castle in the air on our property, won't it? But I just see that, a world-renowned, fully medically staffed, and all the amazing energy healing potentialities and modalities that exist coming together for our wholeness and wellness and workshops and trainings and, oh my God. And some existing models are the Chopra Center. The picture on the left is the Chopra Center for Wellbeing in La Jolla, California. They're focused in integrative medicine, Western medicine, and Ayurvedic from India. The picture on the right is the newly renovated Unity Tower at Unity Village. And it now houses the Awaken Whole Life Center, an integrative healing and wholeness center at Unity Village, a dream that has been years in the making and has come to fruition, will officially open September 14th with a state-of-the-art exercise and gym facility and a menu of retreats and workshops that's just astounding already in place with yoga and energy healing modalities as well as Western medicine. Right on Unity Village. What if everyone were right here? Yes, that's right. We say yes to the universe. Now, we have a prison ministry here in this community, and that is really close to some of our hearts in this place. And I speak about a transitional housing program that could help people transitioning from drug use, could help our inmates when they're paroled or released from prison transition into the community, a program that offers them a safe place to live, some spiritual guidance and education and counseling and job training and employment opportunities. And oh my God, a perfect model already exists at the Delancey Street Foundation in San Francisco. They started in an apartment building with a dream. That was their castle in the air, was to help people transition from a difficult life into, quote, a normal life. And they eventually raised funds and bought a house in San Francisco. Anybody know the neighborhood Pacific Heights in San Francisco? Can you get more Tony than Pacific Heights in San Francisco? And so they met with a lot of ex-cons and ex-drug addicts moving into Pacific Heights. They met with a lot of not in my neighborhood energy. And so they began volunteering to help with projects at their neighbors' homes. And now ex-convicts formed a neighborhood crime watch patrol to serve their neighborhood because one of the chief concerns was that crime was going to go up. Crime went down. And one of the neighbors that they won over through their contribution to the community was Mayor Dianne Feinstein. Ultimately, 20 years later, from the ground up, this community, which operates on, if I know how to cook, then I'm the head chef in this community. If I know something about wielding a hammer, then I'm head of construction. If I can read, then I teach somebody who cannot read the skill of reading. We help one another to build the community that we want that helps us change our lives. And recently, the community on the right is the fruition of the growth of this program. It's a totally self-sustaining residential community with employment opportunities galore. There's a cafe on site that they run and manage and people work in. They have a moving company. How about this? People who probably were in prison for burglary are now your mover guys. They have the most active moving company in San Francisco. It's a phenomenal program. Could be a wonderful model for us. Now, you want to know how the universe answers a dream? So, I've already done this morning at 8 o'clock, right? There was a woman that I met before service out in the back pew. After service, she came to me and she said, my partner and I work at a transitional housing facility. I'd love to talk to you and your team about what you're doing or want to do because we come with some skill set. You have a big dream. Can we meet? Yes! Yes! We say yes to the universe in this community. A possibility is a hint from God. One must follow it, said Soren Kierkegaard. We must figure out what that dream is in us and then let it pull us forward with faith. So why dream big? Why do we care what the numbers are on Sunday? At a town hall a couple of months ago, one of our congregations said, you're always telling us about what the attendance is and what the income and the cash flow and why is there so much attention on this, real world stuff? We're a spiritual community. We care because every number represents a life that's changed. Who would raise their hand for their life being changed because they're in this place? Yes, we say yes to the universe. So now your little joy work assignment in the program. Hopefully you have already listed 3 people who have been an iconic influence in your life, a hero, a mentor, a role model. Maybe they were somebody you actually had interaction with. Maybe it's a Mother Teresa figure that we have the opportunity to see how her life works and how she's transformed the world. And so that influences you. I'm as likely to quote Professor Dumbledore from Harry Potter as I am Soren Kierkegaard, so it doesn't have to be a real person because a fictional character can often carry the message of the hero's journey so very effectively. The archetypes seep into our psyche. They're very important in our culture. And then on the back side of this lovely little form, you will answer with listing all the qualities that you admire in these people. My father had almost no formal education, and he became a self-taught engineer in an era when that was still possible. And he taught engineering at a community college. And he was responsible for the safe operation of 4 hydroelectric plants in the county I grew up in, dams that created electricity, and he had sole responsibility for their operation, any repairs, remodeling, expansion, closing down, whatever it was, that was my dad's responsibility. He instilled in me the gift of loving to learn, of being a lifelong learner himself. Powerful influences have happened in your life as well. What are the qualities that those people have demonstrated for you? What have you taken into your life as a lesson from these heroes? So dream big. I've already invited you to dream in your own life, but also for this community. Now, sometimes on the way to our dreams, as we're wanting to build the castles, we can become distracted by what appears to be so. I wanted to be a minister. When I finally woke up and listened to God talking within me, I still kind of wasn't sure, and how my life will just have to radically change, and I don't know what I want. What am I doing? And maybe I'll just be a teacher of classes, and I don't know. Well, I had the opportunity to meet Mary Morrissey at that point, and I asked her what advice she had for somebody thinking about going into the ministry, a big change in midlife, and now I feel this call to ministry, sort of a, oh my God question. And she looked at me and she said, if anything else that you have skill or talent for in your life would give you joy, would fill your heart, she said, go do that. Because ministry, it's a package deal. And you have to be in it fully, completely, totally. Which is really a description for all of us about our lives. It's not just ministry. That's a description about being fully in it with joy and heart-filled passion for whatever it is we're called to do in our life. Well, here I am. And I got to tell you, there's some days when the what it appears like list kind of makes you go like that. And I realize all that's going on is I have become distracted by something that isn't the truth. It isn't the truth out there in the world, and it isn't the truth in me. And so I just simply change my perspective, remember our principles, and come back to what is true so that my castle has a solid foundation under it. Now, you may know this is Mont Saint-Michel on the coast of France. It's this beautiful, ethereal place that part of the time is completely surrounded by water, and part of the time appearing to be a castle in the air, and part of the time is surrounded by land. Oops. So there's our beginning transformational castle building in this community from the team. I hope you will add yours. James Allen, who wrote, "As a man thinketh, the oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and in the highest vision of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of reality." So don't be distracted by what it looks like on some days. Don't allow yourself to be undone by the difficulties. You are called to live the fullest, freest, most expanded life you can. And you have all that you need within you to move in that direction confidently toward your dreams. But for those moments when you're distracted, a little object lesson in changing your perspective.
I am part of a lost generation.
And I refuse to believe that I can change the world.
I realize this may be a shock, but happiness comes from within is a lie.
And money will make me happy.
So in 30 years, I will tell my children that they are not the most important thing in my life.
My employer will know that I have my priorities straight.
Because work is more important than family.
I tell you this, once upon a time, families stayed together, but this will not be true in my era.
This is a quick fix
society.
Experts tell me 30 years from now I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce.
I do not concede that I will live in a country of my own making.
In the future, environmental destruction will be the norm.
No longer can it be said that my peers and I care about this earth.
It will be evident that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It is foolish to presume that there is hope.
And all of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it.
There is hope. It is foolish to presume that my generation is apathetic and lethargic.
It will be evident that my peers and I care about this earth.
No longer can it be said that environmental destruction will be the norm.
In the future, I will live in a country of my own making.
I do not concede that in 30 years from now I'll be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce.
Experts tell me this is a quick fix society, but this will not be true in my era. Families stayed together once upon a time. I tell you this,
Family is more important than work.
I have my priorities straight because
My employer will know that they are not the most important thing in my life.
So in 30 years, I will tell my children,
Money will make me happy is a lie, and happiness comes from within.
I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world.
And I refuse to believe that I am part of a lost generation.
I choose to say yes to the universe. And I know you do as well. Because you have created the list that says, yes, all of these qualities of the individuals you admire. What's that list? It's who you came to be. Whatever this list is who you intended with the gifts you came with this time around the dance floor. I think it's quite a party. I hope all of you will be my dance partners as we go forward. Hold the list in your left hand. If you choose, put your right hand on your heart and say with me, this is who I came to be. Yes, this is who I came to be. So take that in. And join me, if you will, in taking one of those dreams that seems like a castle in the air and breathe into it in this moment. Allow it to blossom, to bloom, to flourish, to begin to expand in your consciousness, to let it see the light, let it feel the love within you and the passion. Let this dream have wings. And hold it in your heart, your mind, and gently in your hands as we come into the silence with God.